Welcome to TalktousToday. I'm Namita.
And I'm Simrit. And on today's episode of Talk to Us Today, we will be discussing the best way to take care of your pets or our pets. Being a pet parent is a big responsibility. And in the past couple of years, pet ownership has gone up across the world. We've had many of our viewers requesting us to do a special episode for pet parents. So, here to help us answer some of the questions you guys sent out to us, we have with us today the co owners of House of Fur CC, the pet grooming spa in New Delhi, Pooja and Shivaya Singh. Hi, Pooja. Hi, Shivaya. Welcome
Hi.
to talk to us today.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hi, thanks
Pooja.
for
Hi.
inviting us to the show.
So, you both are not only the co-owners of House of Fur CC, but also sisters. Tell us a little bit about
Yes.
yourself and how you came into this business.
Well, good things happen without planning. And just the way we came into each other's lives, House of Fur CC just walked into our lives. It was all unplanned. We walked into this market for some work and we came across a vacant store. And upon finding out, we realized that it is, rentable. And so my sister said, "Why don't we just open a pet spa?" And I said, "Are you serious?" She says, "Yeah, we're so passionate and in love with animals."
And we were really bored.
And we were really bored. Yeah. So,
Most importantly,
yeah, well, anything that you do which involves passion is less work and more love and more, devotion to just what comes to you naturally. So, House of Earth CC just happened. CC, I have to mention, belongs to, the name belongs to my dog, Chanel, who we don't have anymore with us. Yeah. And it's just her legacy, and we hope it lives on.
So, House of First CC started a few years ago. The push came from my aunt Ranu Mamiji, who is an avid animal lover like us. And we used to do a lot of adoptions and donations and rescues, etc. But we never had a page on Facebook. We were never out there in the open. So Ranu Mamiji pushed me into opening a page. They just had a WhatsApp group, and I was at work. And I was like, okay, how do I open this page? And she was online with me. And we were like, what do we call it? And we were like, House of Fur. It covers the entire kingdom, animal kingdom.
nice.
And then CC. CC is for Coco Chanel, my baby, our baby. And Armani is Chanel's son. So we wanted to add her name to House of Fur. As all the donations, adoptions, everything I did was on Chanel's name. And I used to say all the good karma should go to Chanel and Armani. So that's how House of Fur started. And when we came up with the idea of opening the spa, we were like, what do we name it? And it was like, let's just stick to House of Fur CC. And after Chanel passed away, I have personally taken a step back from adoptions and rescues. I don't do it the way I used to do it. I'm not ready to go back into it full form. But yes, that's a little history about House of Fur, how House of Fur started from a WhatsApp group, family members, few friends, and then thanks to my aunt, we moved on to Facebook, and today we have a spa as well.
Wow.
We're not co-owners. On paper, we couldn't get Chanel to sign, so Shivaya became the owner.
As you can see, there are a lot of emotions and a lot of love and passion that goes behind just, a workforce for animals, which I think is of huge, huge importance
Well,
to the
I
job
mean,
done.
I know you guys personally, and I've sent a couple of clients to you, my friends who needed some help with their grooming. And they said that we've been to a couple of places, but the passion and the love they give with their own hands, that's not available in even any of the bigger brands or whatever you may call. So
really
yeah, it
sweet.
speaks for itself. Good for you.
Thank you.
It's always good to do something that you're passionate about. But I must admit, I'm not a pet parent, unlike everybody else on this panel. But I'm a parent-in-law. Is that a term? I didn't grow up with pets, but ever since I got married, the family I married into is a family of pet and animal lovers. But I have to admit, in the past couple of years, it brings me so much joy to see my son play with our dog. I truly believe Lila has made his life richer for sure, my son's life.
Yeah. I have to mention that, when an aspiring pet owner wants to take on a pet, and especially if you have children at home, because there's so much that the pet teaches you. It's not just about giving your child an expensive gadget as part of being responsible. When it comes to a child being responsible, if you give the child a life in his hands at the age of 5 or 6, you can't imagine the outpour of the emotional quotient that comes out for a child, and the amount it teaches the child. It could range from responsibility to forgiveness to patience to respect for a life. And that's a beautiful feeling, because if you tomorrow want your child to be, doing something in society, it could, stand up for a life, or, just be part of a good cause. It could all start with emotions. And, emotions in the right range, not that you're overdoing it, but I think a pet plays a very vital role.
Okay, so Pooja and Shivaya, we are fairly new pet owners. Simba came into our life like 13 months ago, but he is a huge, huge part of our family now. It was my husband's, this childhood dream to have a pet, and then he ended up, adopting this Labrador, and it was, and I must mention that I was not prepared. We were not prepared, when we adopted Simba, what is going to come next, So, like, months or weeks of training them, all that whole job. And I was like, oh my God, it's like, I never thought it's going to be like this. When we plan to have a baby, we still have this idea, what is going to come. But with Simba, we had no idea, and we were like, oh my God, I told Simba, oh my God, it's so difficult. I'm feeling it so hard. So,
it was crazy.
Pooja and Shivaya, do you have any advice for people who are thinking of getting a pet?
Um, well, you have to realize that you're taking on a life. The pet is not just meant for cuddles, because when the pet grows older, he's going to need you. So a lot of people chicken out when they don't understand how to look after an ailing pet. So, when you're taking on the responsibility, you have to think ahead. So it's, the best way to answer your questions other than Google is look at the pet like an infant.
It's like a child.
It's
Pet is
really
like a child. It's a huge responsibility. So before taking on a pet, you have to be ready mentally to put in the hard work. It's not always going to be a puppy, and puppy stages are difficult because they're not trained. So you have to be ready to put in a lot of hard work, time, energy, and money. We hear of a lot of cases of abandonment where they can't afford the doctor's fees if the pet's not keeping well. We've heard of so many adoptions that have taken place, but so many dogs have been abandoned as people have faced a crunch. And the crunch not only monetarily, but also time-wise, health-wise. And they've just decided that we can't, the first thing they want to do is get rid of the pet. But it doesn't work like that.
Okay, so now there are a number of questions that pet owners have sent us. I want to remind our viewers that Pooja and Shivaya are not veterinarians. And for any health-related issues for your pets, do go to the doctor, just like you would for yourself.
absolutely, yeah.
So, but let's start with the most common question we've got. How often should we give our dogs a bath? What products should we use? And how can we give a bath correctly? And there's another question that do sulfate-free products matter for dogs, or are they important for dogs?
Okay, so let's talk about the sulfate-free and the paraben-free products. So just like we go to a shop trying to shop a shampoo for ourselves, you must have realized that it's not just that one shampoo that may end up suiting you for the rest of your life. So the same way, it's not that one shampoo that you pick up, which may be a non-bacterial shampoo, that may necessarily be the perfect shampoo for your pet.
Okay.
For example, Armani has been on this antibacterial shampoo called Celadrif, which is the best antibacterial shampoo I recommend for pets. He's
Okay.
been on it for a decade, but that wasn't necessarily the first shampoo he used.
Okay.
So it took us 2 to 3 shampoos to realize this is the best suited for my pet, because
Okay.
he's got different skin conditions which may not, a normal shampoo may not be able to, take on. Yeah. So, we recommend in the winters, give your pet a bath at least once a month. And in the summers, it should be twice a month.
Okay.
And how you give your pet a bath depends a lot on weather conditions. So you have to keep in mind that if it's cold, you can't put your dog under a cold shower. So
Yeah.
look at the child, pet like a baby, and you'll get all your answers.
Right.
So what we do at the spa is we give an organic neem bark, which is a natural shampoo, which is specially made by a manufacturer for the spa. And we
Wow.
follow that. So we give you 2 washes. This is any dog, any size. We give them 2 washes. You have to rinse the water off the body, the shampoo water off the body very well, because if you don't, it leads to a lot of skin and bacterial infections which are unimaginable to look at. They can look like big boils and go on to looking like whatever.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's very important to get the shampoo off very well, which especially from the neck area. Very thorough blow dry. And this is the basic, followed by the temperature of the water, which you start with, actually.
Wow. That
Yeah.
seems like a really intense process. You guys are obviously paying a lot of time.
Okay.
Okay. So
On the topic of vets, how often should one take their pets to the doctor for a regular checkup, or any warning sign we should not ignore? Or can we, deworm dogs on a regular basis, and how often should we do it? There are like a couple of questions that has come up.
It's very important to choose your vet wisely. Make sure he's a non-commercial vet.
are they available?
And I mean that. I mean it. Out of personal experience, we recommend all our dogs to go to a particular vet for many reasons. It's not just that he should bill you. He needs to guide you, and he needs to co-parent the pet. And that it's a fact, because every time your pet falls sick, you're going to be calling that one doctor. And it's very important to stick to that one doctor.
Okay.
So once you decide who your doctor will be, listen to his guidance very seriously. So he's going to make a follow-up chart for you. Deworming happens once every 3 months. There are a lot of dogs that have epilepsy. So if you miss your deworming for an epileptic dog, the first thing that happens is it goes to the brain and the epilepsy happens again. So depending on the medical condition of your dog, listen to your vet and don't listen to anybody else.
Great advice.
The other thing, out of personal experience, when your dog is physically not himself, please do not ignore it.
Okay.
And one thing that Pooja and I are very particular about is that when you suspect something, this is especially for older dogs, because that's when the complications come up. Always get an X-ray done. And our vet always tells us, he says, you guys don't leave anything to your imagination or chance because you always get an X-ray or blood tests done. There are no surprises then, so you avoid a lot of further complications if you are very thorough with your backup.
Okay.
So that is one advice I would like to give you as a new pet parent, that it's important to do, take care of the vaccinations on time. It's important for deworming to happen on time. Regular checkups are not really needed. There's nothing that's a regular checkup. It's just when the vaccinations are due, unless there's something that comes up.
This is a question asked via email. So is getting a dog trainer recommended even after the dog has been house trained and doesn't pee or poo in the house? In our home, my mother-in-law trains the dog, so I've never, and they are done so wonderfully. We've never had a trainer, but I assume it can be difficult if you've never really had a dog before. So what do you guys say?
So, keeping a trainer is a very personal thing.
Okay.
We've had pets all our lives, but we've never kept a trainer. We've trained them ourselves.
All right.
From what I hear from outside, trainers are not always the best thing. You have to be lucky to get the right trainer. Trainers also use means which you as a parent would find very uncomfortable. So if you do plan to keep a trainer, if you're a new pet parent and you want a trainer to come home to train your baby, you have to be present while the training is taking place.
Yeah.
Don't leave your child with the trainer alone.
Okay.
I'm not trying to ring any alarm bells here, but he is a trainer. He needs to get his job done.
Yeah.
Again,
So
it's like the same thing, Pooja. Like we won't leave a tutor alone for the first couple of times with the child. I think it's
Exactly.
the same thing.
Exactly. See, if the best thing is if you can train your pooch yourself. If you can't, choose your trainer wisely, but always be present there. Don't leave them alone.
So this question has come up, but I had trouble dealing with this initially as well. Even though, I mean, you are not vets, what is the recommended food for dogs? Also, Chavi has sent a question that can vegetarian diet provide all the nutrition needed by dogs? Because our parents are vegetarian.
Chanel's husband was an Agarwal, and he was a very healthy Agarwal. So, dogs live on bread, milk, paneer. There is so much protein you can give them in the form of, a vegetarian diet. Even if you Google out, again, I would say speak to the doctor, because there could be a medical condition which may not, there must be some food that may not suit the dog again. So always check with the doc, when it comes to vegetarian food or non-vegetarian food, the diet should always be a factor you discuss with the doctor. Apart from that, a very common do's and don'ts would be never give your pet salt or sugar in any form. That's one thing. And the second thing is, when you're making food at home, it's very important to put a pinch of turmeric and a pinch of ginger in when you're boiling liver, or when you're boiling your chicken, or generally we've always given our dogs non-vegetarian food because we're non-vegetarians.
We used to give our pets a lot of chewies as a treat,
Yeah.
but then we were told by our vet chewies are not good for them. So we stopped it immediately. In fact, I read somewhere, I don't know how far this is true, that cats, we all end up giving them milk, thinking it's the best thing for them, but it's not really something that you should give a cat.
Wow.
But like I said, I read it somewhere but I don't know how far it's true. So it's always important that when you're taking your dog for its first vaccination or you're getting a pet, go to the vet, take his advice. No one better than your vet to guide you on the do's and don'ts for your pet.
So there you go,
Yeah.
guys. Like, go to the, like, buy our pet specialist, go to the vet, find out the best, you look around, get recommendations, just like you choose a doctor for yourself or for your kids.
Yes.
Look around, maybe make a couple of visits and then pinpoint who you want. So we have another question. Sonia from Gurgaon sent a message that my dog's breath smells a lot. I try to give him the dental sticks, but they don't really work. So what should I do? In the spa, do you do the brushing of the teeth, or is that part the job of the vet? So here's a grooming question, I guess.
So this is a part of pet hygiene, which we do at the spa. It's important to brush their teeth maybe once in 15 days, maybe once a month. They also do accumulate tartar. So it's important that brushing is done, but you don't use a human's toothpaste. They are toothpaste that come for the dogs. So you use that, you get a brush, and you brush their teeth with their toothpaste, which is edible.
You know, one of my friend has this reservation, and or I would say many of the people feel. I mean, they feel uncomfortable taking their pets to a spa. They worry that they might get some ticks or some infection that they might catch from there. So, what do you have to say about that?
It's very important to keep in mind your sanitization and the personal hygiene that you put in, even in an animal spa. Starting from towels that we use, we ensure that our towels are washed in detergent with an antiseptic, like Dettol. We dip each towel in a bucket full of, a mix of these two ingredients. So, the only way that you buy your trust from a client is a repeat customer who comes back without a complaint. So that is something that you would always take a call on. It's a chance that you take when you go to a spa. It depends on what the spa is like. So our USP is we give personalized services. We're sitting right there ensuring that the staff do their work properly, because when, end of the day, we're all human and we all want to take shortcuts, but that's what we're there for. So we ensure that our towels are not reused. We ensure that every table has been sanitized before you take on the next pet.
The tubs are sanitized.
The tubs have been customized by us for a big dog and a small dog. So they're not like the regular tin tubs that you find generally at spas and vans. So we made these tubs for, depending on the size of the dog, we ensure that the tubs are sanitized before every wash for the next dog. And, again, it depends on how well sanitized the area is, because everything comes down to how clean the area is for your pet.
And
So,
just to add to what Shivaya is saying, you have to visit a spa once to know if that is your calling or if you want to bathe the pet at home. So it's important to go out there. At home, sometimes you can't dry the dog or the cat. At home, you can't always get the shampoo out, etc. So there's no harm in going to a spa and letting them do their job. It just well, the spa has to be clean. We do get feedback about some spas in Delhi where maybe the experience has not been very good. And it's a learning for us as well. When someone comes in with a negative feedback for another spa, it's a learning for us that this is something we should never be caught doing.
yeah.
So it's your personal calling as a pet parent. You want to give a bath at home, it's fine. You want to take him or her to the spa, it's fine. But yes, hygiene is very important at every level.
Now, girls, I think we had a great session. Thank you so much for taking time out and
Thank
answering our
you.
questions. I know you girls give a lot of personalized care to all your clients because of your love for them, and that's commendable. And for all our viewers, the House of Fur CC is a pet grooming spa located in Defense Colony, Delhi. The information is there in the description box. And if you have any more questions, feel free to contact us or to the House of Fur CC directly. Thank you so much for joining us on Talk to Us today.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And thank you, a special thank you to Pooja, Shivaya, and Armani. He was so patient and well behaved. That's all on Talk to Us today. Do let us know what you think of today's episode by emailing us at hello@talktoustoday.com or comment below in the comment section. Do let your friends know where to find us. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to stay notified of our new videos every Friday at 6 p.m. Thank you for joining us on Talk to Us today. Remember
to talk about Talk to Us today.
keep smiling, keep laughing, and keep talking.
And
Thank you, guys. Thank you. See you
talking.
Friday.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.